Go to school, get good grades, and find a safe, secure job. How many times have you heard this advice? Probably hundreds. For generations, this was the ultimate blueprint for survival. We were told that a steady paycheck is the definition of financial freedom.
But let's be completely honest with ourselves today. If that traditional formula actually worked, why are millions of hardworking people still living paycheck to paycheck? Why does the stress of tomorrow's bills keep you awake at night, despite all your degrees and endless hours of overtime? The truth is, we've been handed an outdated map. We are running a race where the finish line keeps moving. But today, the cycle stops. It's time to unlearn the illusions of safety, break free from the traditional trap, and completely rebuild the way you view wealth. Welcome back. This is The Turning Point. Let's dive deep into the ultimate blueprint of financial mastery.
The Grand Introduction. The story begins in 1956 in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. Robert was just a 9-year-old boy attending a school where most of his classmates came from wealthy families. They had the latest toys, went on luxury vacations, and lived in a completely different world. One day, Robert asked his biological father a simple yet life-changing question. "Dad, can you tell me how to get rich?" His father, a highly educated man with a PhD and a prestigious government job, looked at him and said, "Well, son, if you want to be rich, you have to learn how to make money. Go to school, study hard, and get a good job." This was the advice of the poor dad, a man who believed that academic success and a steady paycheck were the only paths to security. But Robert's father didn't actually know how to make money. He was struggling with bills himself. So he gave Robert another piece of advice. "I don't know how to get rich, son. Why don't you go ask Mike's dad?" Mike was Robert's best friend, and Mike's dad was an entrepreneur who hadn't even finished the 8th grade. Yet he viewed the world through a completely different lens. This man would become Robert's rich dad. When Robert and Mike approached him, the rich dad didn't hand them a textbook. He didn't give them a boring lecture on economics. Instead, he offered them a choice. He challenged them to work for him, to experience the reality of the market, and to open their eyes to the lessons the traditional school system completely ignores. This is where the two completely opposite worlds clashed. One father recommended studying hard to find a great company to work for. The other father recommended studying hard to find a great company to buy. One taught how to write an impressive resume to get a job. The other taught how to write strong financial plans to create jobs. The contrast was sharp, and the choice was clear. Robert chose to listen to the rich dad, and that single decision unlocked the secrets of wealth that the wealthy pass down to their children. Secrets that are about to change the way you look at money forever. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. To teach Robert and Mike how money really works, the rich dad didn't give them a classroom lecture. Instead, he put them to work in one of his grocery stores. The job was boring, the hours were long, and the pay was shockingly low, just 10 cents an hour. After a few weeks, young Robert was furious. He felt exploited, tired, and ready to quit. He went to the rich dad, ready to demand a raise or walk out. But the rich dad smiled. This was exactly what he wanted. He looked at Robert and said, "Congratulations. You've just experienced what most people feel their entire lives. You were angry at your boss, angry at your job, and you think a bigger paycheck will solve your problems." Then, the rich dad did something brutal.
He took away their pay entirely. He made them work for free. Why? Because he wanted to force their minds to break out of the ultimate trap that captures 99% of humanity: the rat race. Most people live their lives driven by two powerful emotions: fear and greed. First, the fear of being broke drives them to get a job. Then, once they get a paycheck, greed or desire takes over, making them think about all the beautiful things they can buy. So they spend the money, get into debt, and now they need to work even harder to pay off that debt. This is the endless loop. Wake up, go to work, pay bills. Wake up, go to work, pay bills.
The rich dad wanted the boys to realize that money does not solve your financial problems if your mindset hasn't changed. If you only work for a paycheck, you are handing over the control of your life to your employer. The wealthy don't run this race. They don't spend their energy working for a boss to make them rich. Instead, they use their minds, their creativity, and their time to build or buy assets, things that generate income. They don't work for money. They make money work for them. Stop looking for a secure job to save you. Start looking for opportunities to create your own leverage. When you change the way you look at a paycheck, you change the trajectory of your entire life.
Lesson 2. Why teach financial literacy? It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. Many people dream of winning the lottery or getting a massive raise, believing it will solve all their problems. But history shows that people who suddenly get rich often end up broke shortly after. Why? Because they lack financial literacy. They know how to work hard for money, but they have no idea how to manage it once they have it. The rich dad taught Robert a fundamental rule that is so simple, most people completely overlook it. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and you must buy assets.
Let's define these terms the way the rich dad did, not with confusing accounting jargon, but with pure common sense. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. The biggest mistake the poor and middle class make is that they buy liabilities, but they mistakenly believe they are assets. The perfect example? Your house. Traditional wisdom tells you that your home is your greatest investment. But let's look at the cash flow. Every month, your house takes money out of your pocket in the form of mortgages, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. If it takes money out of your pocket, it is not an asset. It is a liability. An asset only exists if it generates income for you, like rental property, stocks, or a business. Look at the contrast in how the classes spend their money. The poor spend their money on immediate expenses. The middle class buy liabilities that they think are assets, trapping themselves in deeper debt. But the rich spend their time and money building a strong asset column first. They let their assets grow until those assets generate enough passive income to pay for their expenses and luxury items. Stop collecting liabilities disguised as achievements. If you want to break free, you must stop looking at what you can buy to look rich and start focusing on what you can own to become rich. Literacy is power. Harness it.
Lesson 3. Mind your own business. There is a massive difference between your profession and your business. Most people spend their entire lives working in someone else's business and making that person rich. Think about it. You go to school, get a degree, and secure a job. Your profession might be a banker, a lawyer, an engineer, or a salesman. But who is actually getting wealthy from your hard work? The owner of the company, the government through taxes, and the bank through your mortgage. The rich dad always said, to become financially secure, you need to mind your own business. This doesn't mean you should quit your job immediately. It means you must keep your day job, but start focusing heavily on building and owning your own asset column. When you spend your paycheck on liabilities like a newer car, expensive clothes, or luxury dinners, your money is gone forever. You worked hard for it, and then you gave it away. But when you channel your money into real assets, every dollar you buy becomes your financial soldier. It works 24 hours a day for you, and it can keep working for generations. What kind of assets should you focus on while minding your own business? Businesses that do not require your physical presence, where you own it but others manage it. Stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Income-generating real estate. Intellectual property, like royalties from books, music, or patents.
The secret to true wealth is keeping your expenses low, reducing your liabilities, and diligently building a base of solid assets. Don't confuse your current job with your ultimate destiny. Your job pays the bills today, but your business, your asset column, is what buys your freedom tomorrow. Stop building someone else's empire. It's time to sit down, look at your finances, and start minding your own business. Lesson 4. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. Most people believe that taxes were created to help the poor and punish the rich. But history tells a completely different story. Originally, in England and America, there were no permanent taxes. Taxes were only levied temporarily to fund major wars. It wasn't until the early 20th century that the government introduced permanent income tax, selling the idea to the public by promising it would only target the wealthy. The poor and middle class voted for these laws, thinking they were leveling the playing field. But the government's appetite for money grew, and soon the tax net expanded. Today, it is not the rich who bear the heaviest tax burden. It is the educated middle class. Why didn't the rich get crushed by taxes? Because they played the game smarter. They used a powerful financial tool that anyone can access, but few understand: the corporation. A corporation is not a real thing. It is not a factory, it is not an office building, and it has no soul. It is simply a legal document, a folder of papers sitting in a lawyer's office. Yet this legal folder gives the wealthy a massive legal advantage over anyone who works a regular job. Let's look at the legal difference in how money is taxed, and you will see the ultimate secret of the wealthy. The average employee's cycle: earn, taxed, spend. You work hard, the government takes its share first, and you try to live on what is left. The rich man's corporation cycle: earn, spend, taxed.
A corporation allows you to earn money, spend as much as legally possible on expenses, like business travel, company cars, and equipment, and then, and only then, are you taxed on whatever profit is left over. By understanding the tax laws and corporate structures, the rich protect their assets from being legally eroded by the government. This is the power of financial intelligence. If you want to win this game, you must learn the rules. You don't have to work harder, you have to work smarter. Knowledge of the law, accounting, and markets is the shield that keeps your wealth in your pocket.
Lesson 5. The rich invent money. In the real world, it is not the smart who get ahead, but the bold. Most people are waiting for the perfect opportunity to knock on their door. They sit back, work hard, and hope that someone will recognize their talent or that the economy will magically improve. But the wealthy don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They invent money. Financial intelligence is simply having more options. If the opportunities aren't coming your way, what else can you do to improve your financial situation? If an economic crash happens, do Do you view it as a disaster or as the buying opportunity of a lifetime? The rich dad always said, your mind is your single most powerful asset. If trained well, it can create enormous wealth in what seems like an instant.
When we say inventing money, we aren't talking about doing anything illegal. We are talking about seeing a deal that everyone else missed and putting it together using financial intelligence. To invent money, you need to develop 4 core technical skills, which together make up your financial IQ. Accounting, the ability to read and understand financial statements. You must know how to read numbers to know the health of any business. Investing, the science of money making money. This involves strategies, formulas, and creative thinking. Understanding markets, the science of supply and demand. You need to know what the market wants and when it wants it. The law, understanding tax advantages and corporate protections to keep more of what you earn.
Look around you. Every major fortune started with an idea, a piece of information, or a creative solution to a problem. The poor and middle class often let fear and self-doubt hold them back. They say, I can't afford it, or it's too risky. But the rich train their minds to ask, how can I afford it? What is the solution here? They take calculated risks because they know that the greatest risk of all is doing nothing and staying financially blind. The world is changing faster than ever, and those who rely only on traditional jobs will be left behind. Stop looking for money with your eyes. Start looking for wealth with your mind.
Lesson 6. Work to learn. Don't work for money. The world is filled with highly talented, educated, and hardworking people who are struggling financially. You see brilliant writers, talented artists, and incredible engineers who can barely pay their rent. Why does this happen? Because they only know one thing, their specific trade. They know how to build a great product, but they have no idea how to sell it, manage a business, or handle money. They are just one skill away from great wealth. The rich dad always advised, look for jobs where you can learn, not just earn. If you are a young professional, don't look for a job based on how much it pays today or how much security it promises. Look at what skills that job will teach you for tomorrow. To build a successful asset column, you must be a generalist, not just a specialist. You need to master 3 core management skills. Management of cash flow, knowing how to track and control the money coming in and going out. Management of systems, understanding how to structure a business, delegate tasks, and build an organization that can run without your daily presence. And management of people, knowing how to communicate, lead, and inspire others to work toward a shared vision. Beyond these, there is one ultimate skill that the rich dad stressed above all others: the ability to sell and market. Sales is communication. If you cannot sell your ideas, your products, or your talent, your brilliant mind will remain hidden from the world. Many people refuse to take sales jobs because they are terrified of rejection. But the wealthy train themselves to face that fear. They know that on the other side of rejection is resilience, confidence, and ultimate freedom. Stop looking for a secure routine that keeps your talent locked in a small cage. Go out there and put yourself in positions that force you to learn what you don't know. Work for knowledge. Work for experience. Work to build your empire. Because a paycheck will feed you for a month, but a new skill will feed you for a lifetime. The grand conclusion. So we have reached the end of the journey, but this is where your real story begins. You have seen the 2 paths clearly. One path is safe, traditional, and heavily walked by millions. The path of working hard for a paycheck, collecting liabilities, and giving control of your life to someone else. The other path is challenging,
bold, and walked only by those who dare to master their own destiny. The path of building assets, mastering financial intelligence, and making money work for you. The difference between the rich dad and the poor dad was not how much money they earned. It was how they chose to see the world. One saw a world of scarcity, saying, "I can't afford it." The other saw a world of endless opportunity, asking, "How can I afford it?" Your mind is your most valuable asset. Right now, as you listen to these words, you hold the power to choose which father's advice you will follow. The system wants you to stay in the rat race. It wants you to stay worried about bills and trapped by your fears. But you were not made to spend your entire life building someone else's dream, while yours is left on a shelf. Financial freedom is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of education, courage, and action. You don't need $1 million to start. You just need the willingness to change your mindset, step out of your comfort zone, and start taking control of your financial column today.
Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or a better economy. The world is changing fast, and the opportunities are waiting for those who have the eyes to see them and the courage to seize them. The choice is yours, and the clock is ticking. Break the chains, master the rules of the game, and step into the life of freedom you truly deserve. Thank you for watching. And remember, don't just work for money. Make money work for you.